All right, so the card here, the initial card I pulled here, Ten of Swords. This is the card that brought you two together. The card that's crossing is the challenges that you both face. Now, commitment is the hardest part for everybody right now, and it's because of the changes that everyone's experienced. Some really nice, some really eye-opening, some like pretty devastating. And I think for like considering that you guys have the Ten of Swords here, you all had to change a lot. You guys had to go through some serious changes. Some things went and ended in a very abrupt way. Now, if this is your side here, just because typically I read my clients on this end of the soulmate investigation reading on my Instagram page, which you can get on your own, or you can get your own personal one in the description box as well. But I read this side as you, Libra, but feel free to go into the other side if this side doesn't resonate. Now, the mentality of both parties here is the Lovers and the Eight of Pentacles. Now, the person with the Lovers here, which could be you, it could be the other person, depending on which side you guys resonate with the most. They're very much in love. They see this soulmate connection. They're very much aware of the connection. Now, for some of you guys, they're really, and feeling the love, feeling the vibes. The lovers coming up in there with all these cups cards definitely tells me that the person's angle and how they approach this relationship is definitely on the emotional side. They're truly trusting their intuition. They're truly trusting their feelings. They're going along with the flow, necessarily not letting their mind kind of keep them from doing the things that they want to do. So I feel like when it comes to this relationship, they see this relationship as a soulmate connection, as a profound connection, and I think this person definitely feels a tremendous amount of strength between the both of them, like in the sense of like a bond. Now the other person does sees this relationship as the Eight of Pentacles, not necessarily a work in progress, but they are diligent and like ready to put work into it. They're ready to put in the work necessary to build this healthy and stable foundation. They see this relationship as something that will grow you and them together, right? Like a home. It's a beautiful like energy with this Eight of Pentacles that I'm getting. That this person's really putting in the effort and the work that they need to be as stable as they possibly can with you. So they see this as this relationship worth the work that's necessary for it to be healthy, for it to be balanced. So that being said, you can already see that this person's presenting themselves as the Ace of Cups, and I like this. This person sees this as as a new beginning, an opportunity. They were presenting themselves as they're in love. This is a new beginning, and they're truly trusting their intuition and truly, putting not just putting the love in the relationship, but they're also learning to love themselves, learning to grow. This is a spiritual growth period for them. Now, considering the underlying energy right next to it is the world, that talks about them leaving a situation behind, them closing a door, and eventually transitioning into a new one. This is a wonderful period where there is, there's a gift in disguise because of the Ten of Swords, right? Whatever ended really, abruptly, difficultly, whatever ended in a way that was really harsh, it had its, it's a bittersweet kind of deal because of the Wheel of Fortune. Excuse me, the World, not the Wheel of Fortune. Because the world is showing up, it's a bittersweet. Like something may have been hard to kind of end or cut off, but this here does indicate that this was a bittersweet sort of situation. Both parties may not have wanted it the way it was done, but I do kind of get this feeling that it does have its benefits. It had its gifts in the mix of it all. And I think this relationship, you guys being together, because I think you guys have met up or connected with one another, or are in each other's presence at this moment. You guys, through the hardships, you guys did find a gift, and that gift was being together, and that that profound connection. But this person's definitely seeing the situation as a new beginning, starting something new, a spiritual growth, journey for them. And as well, this, you guys maybe, you guys are enjoying the company, enjoying the relationship, enjoying each other, is celebrating as well. This is a very good card despite the Ten of Swords, right? Because the Ten of Swords is so devastating, so hard, and it's so difficult. And the fact that you guys are celebrating right now, celebrating right here at this moment, that tells me that you guys are not seeing the situation as a bad thing. I think you guys are still, recovering from the Ten of Swords, because this is where you guys have definitely met. But I think you guys are recognizing the gift beyond the the difficult ending that had happened. So Three of Cups coming up in your present, or coming up as, as how people see you, celebratory, working together, cooperating with one another, and really, you're celebrating and really working with people within your close knit groups. I think you guys kind of, treat each other like friends, but like you guys feel like a profound connection. You know this is your partner, or at least you know the soulmate is someone that's more than just a friend. But then at the same time, this person could be very well your friend as well. This doesn't have to be anything romantic, but this person here, this, how people see you, you're in a very good place. You're in a good place where you're surrounded by family. You're in a different, either you're surrounded by a community that's, supportive and has your back. I like this energy for you guys. Now, the reason why you guys are showing up as the Three of Cups rather, and the Lovers in your mind space is because of the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups coming up in the spiritual plane does indicate to me that there is, you left something behind that wasn't satisfying to you, and this is why at this, it's a bittersweet. It's almost like you left something that you had emotional attachments to. Because think of all these cups have all these emotions in them, and you're leaving behind a lot of these things that had emotional depth to them. Like you couldn't give any more to the situation, so it was time for you to go. Like it was time for you to change your life. So, flip the switch and kind of go in a different direction. It may have been you that have ended the situation, ended something, and that's what brought you and this other person together. But at the same time, it could have been that you guys just, you're in a good, you're celebrating and you see this relationship as something satisfying because at one point you were dissatisfied. You were not happy with how things were going. And this is, you're appreciative of the moment as you go through it because you know that this is, what you've been through and what you've gone through wasn't exactly what you wanted to experience. Now, at the same time, the other person here with the Six of Wands coming up, they see this as a victory as well. They see this as a great victory. They see this as, the effort of their labor being put in and definitely recognized, and it's going in the direction that they've been wanting it to go into. And I feel like it complements the King of Pentacles right now. That's, your obstacle, or that's the challenge, which is kind of getting to a place where you guys are stable and you're confident in your stability with one another. But that's the thing, right? That's the hard part. I think the part is like the financial issue is what's coming up. It's mostly you guys are having issues with finances, or maybe something with in regards to the home or something stable. But ultimately, like recognizing that you guys are as a unit are the King of Pentacles, that is the most powerful thing ever. And I feel like that's the challenge, is recognizing how stable you guys are together and creating a cohesive, unit together to master this, this need to become more stable and more committed to one another. So, I feel like with this reading here, it's awesome. It's super enlightening, and I feel like the way to create a stable foundation, right, together, especially tackling this challenge together, is by being honest with each other every step of the way, not lying, not hiding it. You guys are being very open with how you feel, and I think that's the best part. Because in order to become stable, in order to overcome challenges, you have to be able to communicate with one another in a very truthful fashion. And if you guys are not able to do that, then you guys will have issues down the long run with stability and because of the factor of trust. But I don't think commitment is the problem. I feel like with the King of Pentacles coming up in this reading, I feel like what is really coming up with the King of Pentacles is more of like working together, having a routine, and taking your time to really build a stable foundation, mastering that piece of you guys that may be at question regarding what you believe and what you, not necessarily what you believe, but what your not what your stances are, but mostly like what you guys, how you guys put into the relationship together, like pretty much, if you get what I'm saying, like how you guys work together as a team, pretty much. But yeah, guys, that's amazing. That's really amazing. Let's go ahead and take a look at your Wisdom of the Oracle card to wrap up the remaining of this reading. Round and round. Wow. So this is talking about a situation that's come back around and around and around, or a situation where, you may not be seeing the end of something because there's some lesson that's needed to be grasped or needed to be, received. Now with round and round coming up, what is one of the cards that I honestly find annoying, only because it's true in the sense of like it be, situations being, reoccurring. Now the world and the round and round card together can indicate to me that there is some unfinished business. And even though there's an ending that's come up here, I think you guys are dealing with, again, financial issues or dealing with finances, period, and understanding that you control, how it affects you emotionally versus how it does, versus money affecting you emotionally, if that makes sense. Like, the money doesn't control your emotions, you control how the money affects you, pretty much. So taking power back in the sense of you being the person that's dominant, you being the person that's dominant over fiction and finances, not necessarily letting it rule you. And I think that's the thing. The lesson here is being confident in yourself, knowing your value, knowing your worth, and knowing that no matter what your situation is, you do deserve to be happy. You do deserve to have the things that you have, but you also have to understand that no matter what situation that you're in, you are not going to let anything, no physical thing, no materialistic thing, keep you from enjoying yourself, enjoying what makes you happy. And so it's going against the odds in the sense of, what this world has led us to believe, which is being a capitalist world, or being a world where we need some sort of money situation, or we need to have money to be able to survive. Don't let that kind of keep you from being able to recover and being able to create a strong foundation. Because even though both of you are, especially this person here is working hard to build a relationship, despite, having maybe not as many funds, or maybe you don't have that much funds, don't let that be the situation. Don't let that be the, the forefront of your relationship, as in like how it makes or breaks. I do feel like finances or something in regards to material will affect your relationship, but it's only if you let it, because you hit the ground up, you hit the bottom. Now the thing is with the Ten of Swords is, right, you always, when you hit the Ten of Swords, that means that the worst is over already. And right now all you have to do is create, and there is patience that's needed, there is time that's needed, true growth that's needed here. And in order for that to really commence, in order for that to really truly, grow into a stable foundation, you have to look at what you've learned from last relationships, past situations with this relationship. If this is someone that you're still dealing with, how to overcome all that, how to overcome those, not necessarily how to overcome, but learn from from the lessons or the situations or the experiences that you've experienced already. Learn from them, because that's what's going to help you go through this next cycle, go through this new journey with this individual. Because everything you learn can be utilized to the best of your ability, and it's time to use that. And that's why round and round is coming up. You're going to get hit in the face with a lot of this old stuff, and the lessons are in the experience. So be open-minded as much as you can, and continue to be open and communicative as well.